Food on every plate. It's not much to ask. But not many Africans can take it for granted. Growing populations mean the same land has to feed more mouths. But every year there's less of it for each farmer to cultivate. Farmers have to grow more food on the same plot year after year. No longer can they afford to leave the land in fallow as they used to do. This intensive cultivation leaves little chance for the soil to regain its fertility. And poor soils encourage the growth of Striga. The flowers are pretty, but it's a uniquely destructive weed. As the land becomes less fertile, the Striga grows more and the crop produces less. It's a vicious cycle that draws farmers into a downward spiral of hunger and poverty. But there are ways to break the cycle. This is a story of how farmers in Africa are working with researchers to build better lives for themselves and their families. In Ankwa village in northern Nigeria, farmers are learning more about Striga. By investigating different aspects of its life cycle, we can help farmers develop a range of options to control the weed. This is known as integrated pest management, or an IPM approach to weed control.
There's no silver bullet, there's no magic bullet for dealing with Striga. Remember again the extreme adaptability of this parasite. It's extremely well adapted to its environment. It's extremely capable of adapting to changes in that environment. And so if we don't take an integrated approach, we're not going to be able to come up with a durable, lasting control.
Successful IPM depends on collaboration between different organisations. Each brings its own strength to solving the problem. Knowing this, scientists of different disciplines, working in different places, have joined hands across Africa. Together, they are helping farmers fight Striga. Each team contributes its own piece to the puzzle. This is the International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT, in Mali. Plant breeders here are trying to find ways to control Striga in sorghum. First, they look for resistance to Striga from their worldwide seed collection of sorghum types. Once they've chosen resistant sorghum plants, they breed them together with varieties that are well adapted to the local environment. Bozo Alu is one of the farmers benefiting from ICRISAT's improved varieties.
Parce que ambe awa famunu damani nabo ke ka afurake vraiment nafa min bala ani anta ma boli ou bien senali a descendre ke jang e te kreni to shila ay tan nafa ga boke sama antaninga.
Resistant varieties give farmers a fighting chance in battling Striga, but plant breeding alone will not solve the problem. At the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, or IITA, in Nigeria, researchers are looking at various ways to control Striga.
We wouldn't want a farmer just to rely on one tool to combat the problem. It happens that Striga is favored by poor fertility conditions. So one of the very important things that we would urge farmers to do is to try to maintain the fertility of their fields. This can be done with inorganic fertilizer, but it can also be done with rotation with grain legumes that fix nitrogen and improve soil fertility.
Last year we planted in one part of the Striga plot control demo, we plant soybeans. This year we plant a maize. So the difference is now is completely clear. The place where we plant soybeans last year and then we plant a maize this year, the maize now is very good yield.
Conventionally, legume crops have been seen as a tool to improve soil fertility. This is important in the context of integrated Striga control, but it is not the whole story. If you choose the right legume crop, and indeed if you choose the right legume variety of that crop, you can find rotations that actively deplete the Striga seed bank of the soil.
Each of these soil samples from farmers' fields may contain several hundred Striga seeds, waiting to begin the parasite's life cycle. The seeds are fine as dust and may not even be noticed among the crop seeds. They will lie dormant until a host crop like maize is planted. The maize produces a chemical which stimulates the Striga seeds to germinate. The Striga sends out a special root that penetrates the maize roots and draws out food and water. From then on, the Striga lives as a parasite. It takes all its needs from the maize, leaving little for the crop to produce its own grain. Each Striga plant can produce some 50,000 seeds, which can then lie dormant in the soil for more than 10 years. The best legumes to use in rotation act like the main crop. Their roots produce chemicals that stimulate the Striga seeds to germinate. But the legumes themselves are not a good host, so the Striga seedling dies. Scientists call this suicidal germination. In Kenya, scientists from the International Centre of Insect Physiology and Ecology, ECPE, have found a different way to manage Striga. They've chosen a plant called Desmodium, a crop normally grown as high-quality cattle food. Instead of planting it as a rotation crop, grown in alternate seasons with the cereal, the Desmodium is planted as an intercrop between the rows of maize.
Okay, apart from Desmodium controlling Striga weed, it also produces some chemical which pushes away the stem borer insect, which damages the maize crop. The stem borer insects which are pushed away out of this field are attracted to a fodder grass which is planted around the maize plantation.
This system has an added benefit of producing high-quality cattle feed from both the Desmodium and the fodder grass. In Kenya's Lambwe Valley, this allows farmers to raise highly productive dairy cattle for the first time.
Now I can get a lot of milk. I can buy some napier grass to other farmers. That means I'm making money from that program. I will sell also Desmodium seeds in future. I know in December I will harvest, and a kilo of Desmodium is about 1,200.
Collaboration and the use of IPM are already bringing results to farmers' fields. But this is not where it ends. To produce more food, research has to continue.
Africa needs to produce enough food to meet the current demand and its growing population. So we cannot stop research and hope in future we shall have food production which increases. So this technology transfer, technology development, and even basic research, they all need to be coordinated to make sure there is a flow of technology coming from research ending up at farmers' level.
Koro kotim research mofweny gimomiyo gini kethore, inyalo yudi yo minyalo konygo gini. Koro an aneno ni jo research to nego dhi adhiya mbele nikech samoro nitie gima kethore to kapok otimne research mondo oyud gimomiyo kethore gi kaka inyalo konye, to be samoro gino ok bi konyore kata ka joma moko go tiyo.
IPM research used to be about studying pests and devising new ways of controlling them. Now the focus is on farmers and scientists working together to understand pharmacology. With this understanding, we can grow more productive crops in a healthy environment. By combining laboratory science and farmers' knowledge, we can cope better with the complex human and environmental problems facing us. Farmers have always been researchers and innovators. Through novel approaches and new partnerships, we can speed up this process of innovation and adoption. Because above all, IPM is about helping farmers to help themselves.
if this program would not be there, some of my children would not have gone to school. But now they are going to school because of this program. I can sell the napier grass, I can sell desmodium, I can sell milk just because of this program. So this program has helped me a lot.